Hello everybody, Naylor4 here, and I have just come back from Hawaii. I spent half a week there, and you want to know what the worst part of my trip was? It was not Hawaii, it was not the beaches. The worst part of my trip was having to listen to the new Drake album, and that's what we're going to be reviewing today, guys. Honestly, Nevermind. And that's kind of how I feel about going to this album. Honestly, Nevermind. I'd rather not listen to this Drake album, but I decided, why not? Why not? Why not? Maybe Drake's new stuff will be fire. Maybe he will break this curse of albums that he's been on the past like 5 or 6 albums, and maybe he'll actually release a good album. But nope, lo and behold, your boy be wrong again. And man, Drake has released something that is even worse than all of his other work. It's kind of impressive, honestly, that Drake can just continue to make stuff that's even worse and worse. I'm honestly impressed by it. Like, I have no clue how he does that. Coming off this album, he released this album, Certified Lover Boy, a year before, 2021, and this album kind of came as a surprise. He did not tell anybody he was going to release this album until it released, and yeah, what a great surprise. But anyway, so kind of just getting this album is a lot different than a lot of Drake's music. This album is sort of a house dance album mixed, kind of fused with hip hop and R&B. And honestly, it was kind of nice seeing that Drake do something new, because I cannot tell you how bored and how annoyed I am of hearing that same Drake album, that same style that he does, try to hype you up, but really it's stupid. Lyrics mean nothing. And in some ways, this album is the same like that, but the music, the instrumentals, everything like that sounds different. It was kind of a new, refreshing thing. And it could have been an awesome thing if Drake would have pulled it off, but in typical Drake fashion, he doesn't pull it off. And so kind of getting in this album, some of my concerns with this album is that it is too boring at times. And I think Drake released this album kind of for it to be like a club album, like an album you play at a club. It doesn't work out like that, because that is honestly the most boring club I've ever been to. I think of this album more as elevator music than I do actual club music that I can get on the dance floor and dance to. This album is just so boring, and the instrumentals do not bring much to it. With the house album, with the house and dance album that you're trying to make, the instrumentals have to be on point, because that's kind of what house and dance is. That's the biggest part of that genre of music. But Drake does not pull it off. These beats are just very okay and repetitive and just feel boring, and honestly just make me zone out too much. And that's a problem, because I don't want to be zoning out. I want to be paying attention to this music, because this is supposedly the greatest artist of our generation. And so that's the first problem I have. The album's way too boring. I will say the album is a nice listen, just in the fact that it's not too long, but that doesn't really mean anything. Length of an album doesn't really matter. This album still sucks nonetheless. Album number 2 is that Drake's singing is just horrible in this album throughout the whole thing. Drake, that mix without autotune just does not work. It just doesn't. Drake's voice sounds really dumb and stupid, and especially when he tries to pull off something that's not his normal voice. When he tries to go high pitch or low pitch, it just does not work. Drake is not a singer. He's more of a rapper. Maybe he was a singer, 11 years ago when he made Take Care, when he was actually making good music. But nowadays, he's not. He's too far gone from that style, and he's trying to bring it back, and it just doesn't work. And so, maybe if he had good singing, maybe that would salvage it, but it just doesn't work. And another problem I have is just the songwriting with every Drake album. These songs don't mean anything. They're stupid, especially on one of the songs, where the song Sticky, where Drake is basically talking about how, he's just too awesome for everyone. He's too great. He's the greatest. And because of it, stuff gets a little too sticky. And it's just such dumb writing. Like, you are not the GOAT, Drake. You are not the GOAT. You are terrible. You are the farthest. Just because you have the most albums sold does not mean you're a good artist. You bring nothing to the game artistically. All you bring is money. And honestly, it's impressive. It's impressive that he can make this much money releasing this much bad music. But don't be calling yourself the GOAT. And even compare yourself to J. Cole later on this album, which you are not J. Cole, Drake. You are not even close to J. Cole. You are a tenth of J. Cole. So don't even compare yourself to him. And so I have problems with songwritings, with stuff like that. But just more boring songwriting about how Drake's sad, even though what is there even to be sad about? You're making a lot of money off garbage music. So, I'd be happy. But another problem I have is just, again, going off the instrumentals, there is a song, Currents, where Drake literally has a bed shaking as if two people are having sex. He has that as the instrumental. It's like, eat, eat, eat. Like, Drake, why? Why is this a thing that exists? Why did you think that was going to be a good idea? So many questions, no answers. And it just really bothers me because Drake has so much money. He could spend a lot of money and produce an album that sounds so amazing, but yet he wastes it and just makes these albums that sound so bad production-wise. And so that's the problem I have with it, especially when you're making a house and dance album. The problem I have is the repetition in this album. Drake repeats lines over and over and over, and it's like, you can repeat lines if they're good lines, but they're not good lines, Drake. So stop repeating these lines. Give me more. I know it's a house and dance album, but still have good lines. Be better at songwriting. I mean, some good parts. I like the song Jimmy Cooks, the last song, but I mean, even in that song, like, Drake's verse is garbage. 21 Savage carries that track so hard. And even then, like, if we're looking back to previous Drake stuff, that's a song that's probably mid-tier Drake. But on this album, it's the greatest song on the album. And so that's a problem, And even then, Jimmy Cooks is not that good of a song. Like, it will not be remembered. It's a good song for this year, but it's not like a God's Plan. It's not like a Marvin's Room. It's nothing compared to that. And even then, it has a beat change in the middle between Drake and 21 Savage's verse. And this song doesn't even really feel coherent either. This feels like two songs. I don't really care about the first album. I don't care about Drake's part. I love 21 Savage's part. And that's another problem with the album, yet again, is the lack of features. There's no people really featured on this album. 21 Savage is it. And he nails it, but that's it. Drake, please put people into your music. I don't want an album that with only you. At least with some Drake stuff, at least we get other artists, and maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be garbage, but maybe it'll be good. But like Future, when Drake collabs with Future, they make great songs, but no Future on this album. All we get is one song with 21 Savage for like a minute and a half, and that's it. And it's the last song, too. Why do you choose the best song of the album to be the last one? And so, yeah, I just am not happy with this album. A waste of 53 minutes of my time, and once again, Drake disappointed. It's just so amazing to me. Like, these new Drake albums that are so bad are actually making his stuff that is not even that good seem really good. Like, Certified Lover Boy and this newest album make More Life and Views seem like really great albums when really they're not. But somehow it's making me appreciate Drake's older stuff more. Yeah, these albums are just horrible. I'm gonna give this album a 3 out of 10. And yeah, if you like this album, please in the comment section tell me why you like this album and give me a good reason, because I just could not find anything enjoyable about this album. Just have a good day.